जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती, जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती, तव चरणों प्रणमाः। नाद ब्रह्ममयी जय वागेश्वरी, नाद ब्रह्ममयी जय वागेश्वरी, शरणन्ते गच्छामः। जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती। त्वमसि शरण्या त्रिभुवनधान्या, सुरमुनि वन्दित चरणा, नवरस मधुरा कविता मुखरा, स्मित रुचिरा वरना। जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती, तव चरणों प्रणमाः। आसीना भव मानस हमसे, कुंद तुहिन शशि धवले, हर जड़तां गुरु बोधि विकासं, श्रित पंकज तनु विमले, ललित कलामयी ज्ञान विभामयी, वीणा पुस्तकधारिणी।
Thank you, Moshubha. The Saraswati Vandana was presented by one of our second year MBA students, Ms. Moshubha Bhattacharya. Thank you, Moshubha. I would now request Professor K K Chaudhary, Director, Heritage Business School, to address the gathering. Professor K K Chaudhary is the Director of Heritage Business School. He has held several responsible positions in the field of management education. He was a Director, Army Institute of Management, Kolkata, and Dean, Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management, IISWBM, Kolkata. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to welcome Sri H.P. Budhiaji, our Honorable Chairman, Heritage Business School, members of the Board of Governors, Sri H.K. Chaudhary ji, Chairman, Kollan Bharati Trust, trustee members, our chief guest, Professor Dr. Yugal Chattopadhyay, former Director, IIM Calcutta, guest of honor, Dr. Devanjan Chakraborty, who is the Director, British Council, East and North East India, Sri Toby Roy, Director, Kollan Bharati Trust, Sri P K Agarwal, Chief Executive Officer, Kollan Bharati Trust, Chief Mentor, Dr. Anup K. Sinha, Chairman, Bandhan Bank, principals of the colleges, faculty members, students of the 19th batch, their parents, alumni, and my dear colleagues to be present at the inaugural session of the 19th batch of MBA program, Heritage Business School. Heritage Business School, an initiative by the Kollan Bharati Trust, has been set up in 2003. Kollan Bharati Trust was set up by the 22 leading industrialists of West Bengal to promote the best quality education to the deserving students as a philanthropic service to the society. The educational institutions set up by the Trust under the Heritage Group of institutions are the Heritage School, the Heritage Institute of Technology, Heritage Business School, Heritage Academy, Heritage Law College, and the Heritage College. The MBA program of HBS is a 2-year full-time program approved by the All India Council of Technical Education, Ministry of Education, Ministry of HRD, Government of India, affiliated to the Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University of Technology, formerly West Bengal University of Technology. MBA program is a 2-year full-time course divided into 4 semesters with specializations in marketing, finance, HRM, operations management, MIS, and business analytics. This is at present is a teaching online with assignments, case-based course delivery with continuous assessment. Is a mix of concept and application. Besides, the students have to take MOOC courses, 1 per semester. They have to conduct project work and a series of seminars and industry institute interface sessions are conducted regularly. And we prepare the students for the industry like soft skills, aptitude test, MOOC group discussions and personal interviews, presentation skills, business communications, interactions with alumni. And the leading companies like PwC, Nestle, ITC, Jaro Education, and many others are recruiting students from the campus regularly. Apart from these, we have beyond curriculum programs like entrepreneurship cell, club activities, cultural program, inter-college competitions also are conducted regularly. We have different clubs in marketing, finance, HR, and business intelligence. We have a wide range of faculty alumni. At present, the number is 1,721. They are working globally. Alumni meet is conducted regularly. Most of our faculty members are PhD holders with expertise in different areas of management. We have well-organized library, labs, modern classrooms, auditorium, seminar, and other support systems to facilitate teaching learning process. We also organize every semester certain special lectures. We invite distinguished lectures, and this time we have also scheduled 2 distinguished persons, Sri Chandrasekhar Ghosh, MD and CEO, Bandhan Bank, and Sri Neil Ghosh, founder, Revenue Army. Apart from these, we hope we will be conducting a number of other activities which will be interesting, and the students will enjoy the 2-year full-time course of HBS, and I wish all of them best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words and briefing the students about the various activities what we conduct at Heritage Business School. We are blessed to have amongst us Shri H.P. Budhiaji, Chairman, Heritage Business School and the Chairman of Pattern Group. Sir is also the founder of Swarnim International School, Kolkata. Sir has been presented with the President and Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Export. Sir has also been awarded with Bhamasha Awards for benevolent social service and contribution to the field of education for 4 times by the government of Rajasthan. Sir has been acknowledged as Hero of Kolkata and was presented with Company of the Year Dare to Dream Award by Z Business. We would request you, sir, to address the August gathering. May I kindly request you, sir, Shri H.P. Budhiaji.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Respected Professor Saival Chattopadhyay, former Director IIM Kolkata, Dr. Debanjan Chakravarti, Director East and Northeast, British Council, Professor Anup Sinha, Professor K K Chaudhary, Mr. Toby Roy, our Director, Mr. Pradeep Agarwal, CEO, and other faculty members, as well as the parents and the students of the 19th batch of our HBS. Well, today, this morning, I welcome you all and extend my greetings to join on this program of HBS. Heritage Business School. The word is business, and to learn and teach the business, that is why this sort of the education. Now, business to be successful comprises of few of the factors like man, material, management, and money, etc. If they are combined properly, used properly, then the success is definite. And that is why this sort of the education, that how to utilize all these resources in the best manner, the management is the technique. By that using technique, this learning, this sort of the efforts become successful. And that is known as the business management. My saying is, as Dr. Kalam has said, you have to have a vision. My young adult students, you have to have a vision first. If the vision is there, then to achieve that vision, you have to have determination, dedication, and then the hard efforts. If you combine all of that, then success is definite. And that is what in Heritage we try to preach, try to be with you, that how to utilize all these resources, available resources, or to make them available and then utilize to the best. Time is the money. That is the first thing you have to understand. Your parents, your family members, they have given time, they have given money, spending money, and spared you to have this learning. So my young fellows, now in Heritage, having the best of the resources, the facilities, and the opportunities, you have to encash them and utilize them. That how best you can be a successful management person. Instead of only having the theoretical sort of the knowledge, here in Heritage, we give the actual knowledge and the learning and teaching that how you can be a successful person or a business person. Myself is not an MBA, no degrees, only BCom. But in management, hard efforts, dedication, today I can claim a little that yes, I have achieved, and definitely I am happy that even at this age, I feel satisfied that there are opportunities and we can definitely keep on doing better. Well, business school is the playground. Khela hobe. Here we have to, learn and utilize the opportunity to the best. We have all the facilities that Dr. Chaudhary, Professor Chaudhary has already explained to you earlier. Now to avail them is your choice and your sort of the chance to avail to the best. Well, what else? Only we can wish you that yes, keep on learning and try to do the best, having the highest sort of the quality and to utilize this opportunity to the best. Try to have a sort of ego to visit the industries, to meet the industrialists, and try to learn about them, that how they have started and how today they can acclaim that yes, they have achieved a little or they have achieved what they are today. My only wish to you all is that if you are having a vision, hard efforts, and definitely a dedication, success will be there for you. So I wish you all the very best and good luck for the future. And also my thanks to their parents for giving them this opportunity. Now HBS will try to extend the best possible, for which today we have the name and fame that getting in heritage is a sort of golden opportunity for the student and all the alumni today here in India and abroad. Today, they are glorifying our name and sort of, heritage, feel proud of them. Thank you very much, my adult friends, young adult friends, and also want to see that this batch, there will be a lot of alumni on which we can feel proud of in time to come. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you so much, sir, for gracing the occasion by your valuable presence and enlightening the students with your guidance. Sir has rightly said that if we have vision, dedication, and determination, it is not difficult to achieve success. Thank you once again, sir, for your valuable speech.
Thank you.
I would now request Professor Anup K. Sinha, Chief Mentor, Heritage Business School, to address the students. Professor Sinha is currently Chairman, Bandhan Bank, and the Chief Mentor of Heritage Business School. He was Professor of Economics at Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, for more than 26 years, from 1991 to 2016. He was educated at Presidency College, Calcutta, University of Rochester, New York, and University of Southern California, Los Angeles, from where he completed his PhD. He has taught at Presidency College, University of Calcutta, and held visiting appointments at the Indian Statistical Institute, University of Southern California, Washington University in St. Louis, Curtin University of Technology at Perth, and Kyoto University, Japan. He has also served as a director of Heritage Business School. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Bose.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. H.P. Budhia, Chairman of the Government, Mr. Toby Roy of the Kalyan Bharati Trust, Director K K Chaudhary, the CEO, Mr. Pradeep Agarwal, and of course, our very distinguished guests for this morning, Professor Chattopadhyay and Dr. Debanjan Chakraborty, and a very, very warm welcome to the students of the 19th batch. And I believe there are some parents also who are tuned into this program. A very warm welcome to you. And I'll begin by wishing you all the best on your journey ahead. I want to just flag one or two things which make your batch very special. One, of course, as you all know, we live in uncertain times. We don't know when we will be able to start in-person classes, when all of you can get to meet one another physically. All these are great uncertainties that make your batch a little different from what we have had in the past, when everything was very predictable. We knew what we would be doing. Now, you might think that this is a bit of a hassle, a bit of a constraint, as it were. It is in some sense, but it is also a very, very big challenge, because it is up to you to overcome the difficulties, up to you to learn the most in these difficult circumstances and be able to go out into the world in the future and say that despite the constraints of COVID and the global pandemic, we have done what we wanted to do. The vision that Budhia mentioned, what you want to personally aspire to be, that you can reach that goal. So it is, you have to do a lot more of work than what other people. You have to keep your eyes and ears open. You have to learn management from every place. When you walk in the streets, when you go about, when you chat with your friends, when you listen to my colleagues in the classroom, whether it's virtual or real, I do hope that while in the next 2 years, certainly I do hope that we will be back to the old classroom, in-class mode, the physical classroom. And please remember that you have the challenge to prove yourselves by working a little bit harder. We will provide all the facilities, we'll provide the guidance, we'll provide the help to the best of our abilities, but it is up to you to what you make of it. All right. So I remember I've been a teacher from 1976, and I'll end with just one thing that I've seen in all these decades, two kinds of students. The ones who have succeeded later on in life have been the ones that were eager to learn. Even if they were asking quote unquote stupid questions, they were not shy to come and seek knowledge. And that is why teachers are there for, to help you. It's not that we know everything, but to help you. And on the other hand, there are other people, when they reach middle age, they keep grumbling that they did not get to what they wanted. The world went against them. They have not reached the levels that they had aspired to. But these were, in many cases, the people who thought they knew everything, and the classroom and the teacher were like, okay, you have to go and do it. We have paid some money for it. Wo kya janta? That is the class that aspires. I want you to belong in the first group, to catch hold of us, to chase us around the block, to know what you want to know, to keep asking questions, to doubt things and ask us that, what is this? How do I do it? How do I solve the problem? Raise problems, that these are the ones that need solutions. So with these few words, I again wish you a very, very wonderful 2 years at HBS. I really hope that sometime in your life, maybe 10 years, 20 years from now, you will remember this particular date as a turning point in your lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your motivating and inspiring words. And as sir has rightly pointed out, that if the hunger is there to learn, because learning has no age, then one will be definitely successful in his life. Thank you, sir. We are honored to have amongst us Dr. Debanjan Chakraborty, Director, British Council, East and Northeast India, as the chief guest of today's program. Dr. Debanjan Chakraborty has over 18 years of experience in leading education, development and cultural collaboration programs in India and internationally for British Council. In his present role, Sir leads on all of the British Council's businesses and cultural relations work in East and Northeast India, covering 13 states and Bhutan. This includes partnership with schools and higher education institutions, English language training and teaching direct and through partnership with state government. He is one of the trustees of the International Language and Development Conference and sits on one of the Education Advisory Board of the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry. As far as Sir's academic background is concerned, he is a triple gold medalist in English literature from Jadavpur University, Kolkata. He is a Felix Scholar and obtained his PhD in literature and media studies from the University of Reading, UK. Sir has been a journalist and taught English literature and films at Bishop Bharati University in Shantiniketan and at University of Reading, UK. Sir is a keen sportsman, an avid reader, and a cinephile. May I kindly request you, sir, Dr. Debanjan Chakraborty.
Thank you so much, Professor Basu. Can you hear me? Can I just quickly check?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that very generous introduction. And my former teacher, Pushpitranjan Bhattacharya, is here. He knows that, you know, I'm more of a failed sportsman than anything else. If you ask me, I would rather be playing. Thank you very much to Kolkata Bharati Trust and Heritage Institute of Management for inviting me to this inaugural ceremony welcoming the students of the 19th batch. We thank you, Pradeep Agarwalji. Thank you, HP Budhiaji. Professor K K Chaudhary, Dr. Anup Sinha. You've really deeply touched by your speech, and I hope, in fact, what I had to say would also refer to some of the things you said. Thank you, Professor Shoibal Chatterjee. Dr. Toby Roy. Thank you very much, everyone at Heritage Business School. And welcome to the 19th batch of students for the MBA and all the parents who have invested so much in your future. I thought I'll just touch upon a few things and beginning with, ideas that have ideas and institutions that have influenced my professional life. I went to Ramakrishna Mission schools initially in Purulia and then in Narendrapur. And I think that really laid the bedrock of values. And it is, the whole value system is quite complex. But I think what I have taken from my 8 years in two Ramakrishna Mission institutions is summed up by what Swami Lokeshwaranandaji told us when we were about to appear for our Madhyamik exams, is that, if you want to take away one thing from your schooling in Ramakrishna Mission, take away this: be honest. And then he deliberated with us, and we were quite young then, on the difference between ethics and morality. And he said that ethics were far more important than personal morality in public life. And I would urge you to reflect on this. I do not have the time to go into the difference between ethics and morality, but I think it's worth considering these differences. I then studied at Jadavpur University, which for 5 years for my undergraduate and master's, and it really opened up a whole new world of ideas, of thinking very differently about people and identities, and I think that had a very profound influence subsequently in my career. After working for a few years, both me and my wife got our full PhD scholarships to study abroad. And that had also been a very sorry, I think accidentally I muted myself. So I think what those exposure to a whole range of ideas, which are local and national, and then on to international, does make a big difference in individuals' professional lives and thinking. And I would really urge all of you to consider, keep an open mind. I think that is a very, very important aspect of professional growth. And as you embrace professional careers, those will stand you in good stead. Let me now reflect on 3 key proverbs, which I think are very important for the 21st century professional, because I'm addressing you as would-be professionals in corporate, in governance, and you will be shaping the destinies of institutions and your communities and maybe the country or the world. So the first proverb I would like to reflect on is something that Professor Anup Sinha mentioned in passing, which is, may you live in interesting times. This has a slightly interesting kind of history. It's often touted as a Chinese proverb, but it's not. It was used extensively by the 19th century, late 19th century British politician Joseph Chamberlain. It's also called the Chamberlain Curse. So may you live in interesting times. I think we are all living through very interesting times. And we have lived through great bereavement, loss, great stress and anxiety. Many of us have lost jobs, incomes, industries have been completely disrupted. No one saw this coming for this kind of a disruption. But I think there have been great learnings too. One great learning from the pandemic is how technology has really started to influence our lives even more and more. This is particularly true in the area that I work in education. Globally, education technology had been touted to be on the brink of a revolution for the last 2 decades, if not more. But that revolution never arrived. But the pandemic has really pushed education into an abyss. We don't know whether it will fly or crash, but I think it's a great opportunity as well. There are obviously challenges in terms of equity and access to both hard and soft side of technology, but those are, I think, on the supply side and are resolvable in the short to medium term. But I think the technological disruption is here to stay, both in our professional lives and in education and in wider society. I think the other side of that particular proverb, may you live in interesting times, it also exhorts us to deal with complexity and abstractness. And I think this is a skill that you need to master over a period of time. It doesn't come easy. And I think it's a particular challenge in the 21st century where our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter because of the intrusion of technology again. I think social media and OTT platforms are really taking a chunk out of our intellectual capability. I would urge you to read one book that has really shaped my thinking a lot. I keep rereading it. It's called Thinking Fast and Thinking Slow by Daniel Kahneman. It's one of the many books I could recommend. So I think complexity matters, abstractness matters, and the challenge in businesses is to deal with those abstractness and complexities. The second proverb I'd like to share with you, and I think this is indeed a Confucian Chinese proverb. It's called, if you walk with a friend, you will travel longer. So this contrasts with basically running a sprint all by yourself. And this conjures an image, a metaphor of walking long and talking with a friend. And I think this is at the heart of 21st century skills, which is around collaboration and deliberation and conversations. And I think this is, again, a key skill to master. In Indian education system, and though it's been hugely beneficial and I've really been inspired by it, one weakness of our education system remains that it does not foster collaboration and cooperation enough. We are from kindergarten right to my master's stage. The only thing that I was ever assessed on was how good am I as an individual, how clever am I as an individual? And that really doesn't serve a great deal of purpose in the wider game of life. So hence, I think it's about being deliberative, sometimes going slow. And I would even extend the logic to think about climate change. I think businesses have a huge role to play in ameliorating some of the challenges of climate change. The recent UN reports are absolutely damning on climate change. I think we have done enormous damage to our environment and to the planet as a whole, and there will be no rolling back. And I think this is where we have to balance our well-being against profits, and a year-on-year 10% growth I think has served the world overall very, very badly. So think about deliberation and slowness, even as you embrace the fast lane to success. The third proverb I'd like to share with you, and this is one of my favorite proverbs of all times. I collect proverbs in my spare time, is, if the story of the hunt been written by lions, the ending would have been different. I'll repeat that. If the story of the hunt had been written by lions, the ending of those stories would have been different. I think this particular saying has assumed great significance in particularly in the last year and a bit with the Black Lives Matter movement that was prompted by the gruesome killing of George Floyd. I think what learning it has for us in professional lives and in businesses is it really puts into sharp focus the question of A, inclusiveness and diversity, and B, the power of storytelling and who is writing those stories. So let me dwell a little bit on the inclusiveness side. I think a lot of us, especially in people who come from urban middle class, upper middle class contexts, who have access to fantastic education institutes, we are born with a lot of privilege, and we need to reflect on that privilege a little bit. I think we also have a responsibility to share that privilege and push back on that privilege to a great extent. And I think that is the hallmark of a great society, of a great democracy. And think about this as you go forward and grow as individuals and as professionals. Question power structures, be aware of power structures and how it influences you as an individual, and how power structures influence people around you, people who you manage, people who report to you, and in the wider community, people who are deferential to you for possibly just being unlucky. There is this concept of success being 90% dictated by those of us who win the ovarian postcode, the ovarian lottery or the postcode lottery. So which family you are born into and where you are born makes kind of 80 to 90% determines where you will end up. And this is essentially, think about it, it's just a game of chance, and use every opportunity you have to extend that opportunity to everyone around you. The second aspect of that proverb, of who writes those stories, is again very, very germane in this day and age of enormous amount of misinformation and fake news. I think what I would exhort you to reflect on is to be a lot more critical in your thinking. Just because something is written down doesn't mean it's true. So I think you have to really develop your critical thinking skills and not take whatever you see in front of you as the given truth. I started my career as a journalist, and I know that this has been around for a very long time. I have so many of my family members who have always said, "Oh, this came out in the papers, this must be true." Having worked in a newsroom, I know that, what dictates editorial choices. So there is always something else at play. So question that, be aware of that. And I think in India particularly, and this happens in many societies historically, we are witnessing a huge rise of literacy because of the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan and increasing enrollment in our schools. That massive rise in literacy in a very short period of time creates certain societal challenges, and it's a battle between neoliteracy and learning. And please be aware of this conflict between neoliteracy and learning. Europe had witnessed it, UK had witnessed it late in the 19th and early 20th century, and we are witnessing that same cycle now of this conflict between, just because someone can read and write doesn't mean that person can think. So I think about thinking a little bit. I think communication matters. So please listen to people. I think in India, again, there is too much of a stress on producing the right answer and speaking. Whoever speaks the loudest often gets heard. But I think there is not enough of a stress laid on listening skills. And these are all correlated. And I wish you all the very best. I hope some of the things that I had to share is of you, are of use to you in your future careers. From the British Council, we have a number of opportunities lined up for you. If you want to study abroad in the UK, you could come and visit us, visit our website. If you want to polish your English for career purposes, for career growth, you could come to us and study English with us. And with these words, I think I'll end here, and thank you once again to Kalyan Bharati Trust and Heritage Business School for inviting me to address the 19th batch of MBA students. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful deliberation. Sir has talked about that we are living in a very interesting time where the impact of technology is very, very high. Although this pandemic has disrupted our supply chain altogether, but we have learned many things like how to deal with complexity and abstractness. And finally, he talked about that if we walk with a friend, we will be walking longer. That means we should foster collaboration skills. We should learn how to work in a team, and we should emphasize on teamwork rather than emphasizing on our personal achievement. He also talked about fostering on critical thinking. Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure that students have been highly benefited by your speech, and I'm confident that all of us have been immensely enriched. Thank you once again. We are honored to have amongst us Professor Dr. Shoibal Chatterjee, former Director, Indian Institute of Management, Kolkata, as the chief guest of today's program. Professor Dr. Shoibal Chatterjee is the Professor in Operations Management Group and former Director at IIM Calcutta. Sir has done BSc in Statistics from Presidency College, Calcutta, MSc in Statistics from University of Calcutta, MS in Statistics from University of Connecticut, Stotts, USA, and PhD in Statistics from University of Connecticut, Stotts, USA. Sir has more than 39 years of experience in teaching and in leading institutions. Sir has taught at Presidency College, University of Calcutta, University of Connecticut, Stotts, USA, and presently is associated with IIM Calcutta as a professor in Operations Management Group. Sir has held visiting appointments at University of Connecticut, Stotts, USA, and University of Nebraska, Lincoln, USA. Sir has also served as the Dean at Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, and held the position of Director at Indian Institute of Calcutta for 5 years. Sir has a number of conference presentations and publications to his credit in various national and international journals. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. I would now request you to deliver your address.
Thank you, Dr. Basu, for such an introduction. I feel humbled.
Thank you, sir.
For this. Professor K K Chaudhary, the Director of the Heritage Business School, Honorable Sri HP Budhiaji, the Chairman of Heritage Business School, Mr. Pradeep Agarwal, the CEO of Kalyan Bharati Trust, Mr. Toby Roy, the Director, Dr. Debanjan Chakraborty, the Director East and Northeast of British Council, Professor Anup Sinha, the Chief Mentor of Heritage Business School and the Chairman of the Bandhan Bank, other very distinguished guests, dear students of the 19th batch and some of their parents, the faculty members of the Institute, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I must thank the Heritage Business School to invite me to really address this batch and participate in this orientation program of the 15th batch of MBA students. I feel humbled And I consider it as a privilege to be a part of this event called Congruence. Let me start with my heartiest congratulations to all the incoming students. On behalf of the Institute and on my own behalf, I extend to you all a very warm welcome to your new home. This will be your new home for the next 2 years. Please remember that. Most of you who have made it to these portals of this great institution, excuse me, have done so after a lot of struggle, educational struggle, financial struggle, and so many other things. You know, we understand what struggles we Indians go through because each one have an unique struggle. So obviously, I am sure each one of you will have some struggle. Some of you may not have financial struggle, but other struggle, and so on. To get admission into an institution of the stature of Heritage Business School is no mean achievement. So you should really consider yourself that yes, you have achieved something, but it is just the beginning. That is also something you must remember. Okay. I congratulate you for deciding to join this program. It's a great place, as I know, to develop yourself into organizational leaders of the highest caliber. This place has already produced some of the finest alums. I know some of them, and I am sure I will see many more from this batch in the years to come. So congratulations and all the very best for joining this institute. You will be able to develop, and I'm sure I have reasons to believe from the curriculum and some of the professors that I know of Heritage Business School, you will be able to develop an analytical ability, and intellectual sharpness, and new perspectives to analyze and solve the most difficult of management problems. This is the key for your 2 years, which you should never lose track of. This is where your primary value as an individual, once you get out of this great institute, will be. Okay. When you have gone through the 2-year program at HBS, I'm sure you will acquire the knowledge, skills, and attitudes required to become leaders in the organizations where you choose to work. Having said that a great future will await you, I must also tell you that there will be major challenges ahead for each one of you. Budhiaji, Professor Anup Sinha, and Dr. Chakraborty, all three have mentioned quite a few of them. Without repeating all, maybe let me add some to this also, because that's also important for you to remember. Of course, I have to start with the pandemic. All of them started this. I have to say this is something, in this generation, we have seen pandemic in the history books, but now we are seeing it. Close to 2 years, this is really destroying the whole world, turning the world upside down. But we still have to remember that the business and the life will go on. So you have to learn to live with the pandemic with adequate protection and everything. And that will be the biggest challenge as I see for you. There is the other issue which I want you to be aware of. I'm sure you all are. That is the rising inequality that is happening all over. Inequality in every field, not just economic inequality, social inequality, behavioral inequality, and so many other things are happening around us. It's not just the gulf between the rich and the poor. There are so many other things that is happening around us globally. And you must start, taking keen interest as to how globally situations are changing, because you will be ambassadors of industry, you will be ambassadors of organizations who will do business. And naturally, this is where you must know how things are being shaped. It is very, very important for you to be aware of the inequalities around you. And Dr. Chakraborty has already mentioned about technology. So I will not reiterate much except saying that you must realize how technology is not just changing the way business is to be carried out in future, it is also changing the way how we behave and develop ourselves. Just to give you a simple example, and I think he had briefly mentioned that, it is because of this technology our attention span has drastically gone down. Thanks to social media and so many other things, and with smartphones and all these gadgets, what is happening? In my time, I would be listening to my professors for 3 hours, non-stop, maybe 5-minute break, toilet break or bio break or whatever. But now, after 5 to 10 minutes, I take out the mobile, not just I, some of you also. Take out the mobile, see what major Nobel Prize winning message I am missing now. So our attitude has changed. And how it is affecting us? It is affecting us in one way, and we in the education, we must acknowledge. Instead of saying it's bad, criticizing, I cannot stop technology. So now you know how essentially this problem is being addressed. And Dr. Chakraborty already mentioned some of these. You know, open online courses, how these courses are being brought into the recorded versions. You don't have 3-hour records. You have 5 minutes, 10 minutes modules of videos followed by questions so that you get into it. You have games. You know, this is a gaming generation. I know all of you play games, computer games and all, but this education is now also being brought into the field of games. There are so many types of gaming technology that has been introduced by these open online courses and these platforms. You must learn to not just to play that particular game, also learn how to learn education through the games. And this is the biggest thing that is happening now. And finally, there are several areas which are emerging pretty fast. Not just immediately over the 1-2 year, maybe last 8-10 years. Areas such as data science, statistics was there, mathematics was there, computer science was there for last 25, 30, 40 statistics for 100 years. But that you can integrate the thinking of statistics, which is chance or probabilistic thinking, with mathematics, which is deterministic thinking, with computer science, which is computational thinking, power of computing, and how you can integrate all this into data science, it was not there before. And this is exactly how every industry, every organization is changing themselves. Because gone are the earlier days where you really started with an entry advantage and you will continue to have the advantage. Now it's a level playing field for everybody. Because technology, thanks to rapid propagation of everything everywhere, something is discovered in USA yesterday, today it is known to us. So obviously gone are those proprietary advantages. You have, when you serve and become ambassadors of organizations, you have to remember that you must learn how to do these things in the face of new technologies, emerging areas. The one other area is fintech. Again, technology with finance or blockchain or cryptocurrency. These are things where you must have some basic idea before you go out of this portal. Why? Because I am sure when you start your journey, and that's going to be a long and I am sure a rewarding journey for each one of you, you will realize you will possibly need bits and pieces of all these new things that is disrupting our life. Okay, so that's something I thought you should remember. As for this institute, Heritage Business School, this has been created, nurtured and sustained by its stakeholders, the faculty, students, staff, the trustees, etc. And it has become one of the excellent institutions in the field of management education in the country. Your responsibility now would be to make it even greater. This will be your responsibility. Not only you are joining a good institute, great institute, you really have to make it even better. That's the challenge. That's not easy. When you have nothing to start with, you can start a business and wherever you go, it's some improvement. But when you are joining a big institute or good institute, to take it even little better is a big challenge. And these 2 years, you must do that. Keep that in mind. That's what will possibly take you in good state. Of course, at a national level, you must remember, if our country is to achieve true and sustainable success, it must ensure overall development for all. I mentioned about the inequality, social, financial, and all that. So material development, social development, economic development, and while keeping intact the core values of a secular, multicultural, gender and caste bias-free nation. This is something will be your job, because you are the future. For those of us who have played a large part of our life already, our innings is almost coming to an end. We are going to pass this society to you. So it is your responsibility to make it better. Okay. So the challenge before you is immense, but I can assure you it's a challenge worthy of your talent and potential. I urge you to try to become the shining stars of organizations you decide to work for, and become the torch bearers for future generations of managers and organizational leaders of our country. For many of you, this could be your last opportunity to have a long program, 2-year MBA, except for maybe some who would like to pursue education further and join a doctoral program. So obviously, I urge you all to give your best and learn as much as you can. This is non-negotiable. You must always remember that you are here, and in today's world, you have to learn. So you really praise your professors. Your learning would depend on how much effort you put in and how much enthusiasm you have. But I also urge you to challenge your teachers. Do that. Challenge your teachers and your colleagues. Ask difficult questions and try to collectively solve them. Your job is not to ask questions. Remember, your job is also to solve some of them. So ask questions, but also collectively solve them. Infect the whole institute with your energy. As I said, you are young. So you have to bring that energy into the institute and infect the institute, not with something else, corona or anything, but with your energy. So that people realize, yes, what a wonderful batch we have, the 19th batch MBA. And as Dr. Chakraborty already mentioned, if you work together, you work longer. Of course, build a lifelong collaboration, relationship, friendship. When you go out into the real world, you will see this friendship. Right now, you don't know how this friendship will help you. It's difficult. When I started my journey 40 years back, I never realized that what friends are for. I thought, that is the age to go to cinema together, to go to a football ground, Mohun Bagan match together. And that's what I thought is what all friendship is. No, friendship has some other deeper meaning. I hope you will realize only when you really invest your time now. But of course, don't invest all your time in friendship, because you also have to do justice to your courses. No matter how much I encourage you, the fact remains that end of the day, you have to take a few exams and pass them admirably. So obviously, have a balanced approach to life. And I'm sure each one of you will be a great torchbearers of this great institute. Once again, all the very best wishes to all of you, and I welcome you to this great institute. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir, for a truly inspiring and memorable speech. Sir has rightly pointed out that learning in online teaching mode is much more difficult than physical learning in classrooms. But in order to succeed in life, one should have enough or fair knowledge in the new concepts like data science, blockchain, cryptocurrency and all. So before you pass out from this institute, you should have a fair knowledge about this, and learning has no age. So you should keep on learning. We also learn at this age. And I really appreciate, sir, that you said that students should ask questions to the teachers, because if they ask difficult questions to us, then also we will also have a tendency to learn and we will be going deeper. Thank you, sir. It was indeed a very insightful session, and I'm sure it was a good learning session for all of us. Thank you. Now I would request our teacher in charge, Professor Shagota Sengupta, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Bobby. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Respected Sri HP Budhia, Chairman, Heritage Business School, Sri P K Agarwal, Chief Executive Officer, Kalyan Bharati Trust, our valued guest, Dr. Devanjan Chakraborty, Director, East and Northeast British Council, Professor Shoibal Chattopadhyay, former Director, IIM Calcutta, Dr. Anup Sinha, Dr. K K Chaudhary. A very good afternoon to all of you. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, Shagota Sengupta, teacher in charge, Heritage Business School, on behalf of Heritage Business School and its entire fraternity, and on my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all our valued guests and other dignitaries. I would like to thank Sri HP Budhia ji, Professor Shoibal Chattopadhyay, Dr. Devanjan Chakraborty, Professor Anup Sinha, who instead of their busy schedule, joined us today to grace the occasion and share with us their vast knowledge and opinions. Thank you, sir, for the insightful deliberation. I also wish to express my gratitude for encouraging our student in this occasion. Here, I would like to mention that during the 4-day-long orientation program, we have many powerful sessions by eminent speakers. Like after this first inaugural session, we have got 2 sessions today. The first session will be on the journey of the heritage, which will be delivered by Mr. Clayton Moses, the coordinator of the student affairs and the international relation of the Heritage Group of Institution. Then we have a session on the global warming and climate change by Dr. Anup K. Sinha, our chief mentor. Then on the second day, there will be 3 sessions. The first sessions will be conducted by Dr. K K Chaudhary on the topic management and overview. Then we have Ravi Maharaj from Belur Math, who will be speaking on the Indian culture and heritage. And the third session will be taken by Mr. Kaushik Bhattacharya, Head Training and Placement Sale of Heritage Group of Institution on career opportunities. On third day, we have 3 eminent speakers. The first session is on mind, body, and soul by the life coach, Mr. Anil Bhimsaria. Then there will be the interaction with the corporate leader. We have invited Mr. Harish Agarwal, partner Ernst & Young, for this session. And then the third session will be on the gender parity and social necessity, which will be conducted by Ms. Sucharita Basu, Chairperson CII Indian Women Network, and Ms. Srila Dasgupta, Associate Vice President, TCS. Then on the 4th day, we have invited some of our alumni from the industry to address our new students. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Sri Pradeep Agarwal, CEO, Sir, Dr. Anup K. Sinha, our Chief Mentor, Dr. K K Chaudhary, the Director, Sir, for their unparalleled support and the guidance. I would also thank my faculty colleague and other administrative officers and the students of the existing batch for their constant support. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our new students of the 19th batch for their wholehearted participations and involvement in this program. Thank you very much.